Welcome to the Family First Retirement Podcast with George Politarhos. For more information on the Portraya Wealth Group or to schedule your complimentary consultation, visit PortrayaWealth.com. Now, let's get to the show.
George, I'm excited this weekend because your sister Angie Politarhos is joining us.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm glad to hear that you're doing better because it was this time last weekend involved in a bit of a car accident, but you're doing okay.
Everything is good, yes. Yes, they were great. The team was great. The state troopers were great. Everybody at the hospital was great. Yeah, everything's fine. Thank you for asking.
So if this is the first time somebody's had the chance to check out Family First Radio with George Politarhos, Angie, tell me, what exactly is it that you do for the Portraya Wealth Group?
We do financial planning. We help people transition and prepare them for their retirement. I also participate in helping people sign up for Medicare, Social Security, and assisting and guiding them in that. Tell
me, we know you're both adults. You both take your job very seriously, but you literally have your sister across the hall. Is there still that little family dynamic of butting heads from time to time and giving each other grief?
Every flipping day.
Every day. You say it, please, yes.
Yes, every day. But you know what? That's what happens when you have love. And really, Mark, when you work with us, that's what you get. Everyone knows that Portraya in Greek means family. We are a family, but our customers are part of our family. They're human beings to us who are part of our big, fat Greek family.
PortrayaWealth.com. You can meet George, Achilles, Angie, Jared, the entire team. Again, Patria, PortrayaWealth.com. And Angie, I'm glad you're here this weekend because it was a couple of weeks ago that George and I had the opportunity to go to Nashville and be part of a great event that included Candace Owen, a political and a cultural commentator. She was our keynote speaker. And Angie, I wanted you to hear this as well. Here's Candace Owens talking about the importance of women having control of their finances.
Everybody's household runs differently. I actually come from a private equity background, and I think what's interesting, though, is that now that I'm married, we kind of have our own categories, and my husband tends to the finances, but I keep my finger on the finances, and I always know what's going on. These are the sorts of discussions that you should be having with your partner. You should never be in the dark when it comes to your finances. These are conversations that you have right when you get married. I remember having that conversation. It's such a weird phase when suddenly you two are becoming one. A lot of people are abstaining from family because they're climbing the corporate ladder, and actually things get remarkably easier once you become married and you're able to blend your finances together and set realistic goals. But those conversations have to happen at the beginning of any relationship.
I totally agree with her. She is 100% on track of what she's saying. Personally, being a woman, I was married to an older man, my husband Spanky, and he handled the finances originally. And, as time went on, I realized I needed to be involved to see what's going on, to participate. And eventually I took it over. But it's something that all women, and so many women come into our office, believe it or not, and have no idea what is going on in their household. And I can't emphasize enough that you must educate yourself. I have a girlfriend right now. She just lost her husband. Her husband took care of everything. She has no password. She has nothing. She doesn't know how to pay a bill. She's never paid a bill. She was married for 50 some years. She's never paid a bill since she's been married. She has no clue of what to do. She's crying every day. I'm over there helping her write her bills out, trying to find out where everything is and trying to help her get organized. Ladies, it is so important for you to know what's going on in your home. It just for yourself, just to make sure that you're protected, and, God forbid, if something happens to your spouse, you can just jump in and take over. And that you know where things are. That's the basic thing, where you know where things are. When you don't know where anything is, that's the scary part.
Do you find it almost challenging to get both members of a marriage on the same page when it comes to putting a plan together?
No, I think pretty much once they sit down together, they're pretty much in agreement. We find that one is always more willing to make the changes over the other one. And they sort of have to, take their time and convince each other.
Yeah. I really think you find the women are more conservative and men are more aggressive.
Yes.
And when you get together with them, you are the marriage counselor, right, Mark? Isn't that what we always say?
That's so true.
When we get together with them, we're sitting there and pointing that out and trying to get that median where they can go. And, you want to go to Atlantic City and put the mortgage on black. And she's saying, no, you can take $20 and put the payment on black.
Right.
So that's our job. And really, it's about making sure that tomorrow is okay. Because we talked before, and you work with us, I don't really, husband and wife, we work about both of you folks. I personally, I know Angie's in the same position. We worry more about the women as a rule than the men. And only because women, as a rule, are left behind. Mm-hmm. And they are the caregivers. They take care of their husbands, take care of their kids. When they pass away, who's there to take care of you? Our job is to make sure you're lined up properly and correctly. And that all starts, folks, with the first time you give us a call. There's no cost, no obligation. Pick the phone up, give us a call at 302-330-2166, or go to Patria, Patria Wealth.com, and let's schedule that no cost, no obligation appointment. Come in, let's sit down, let's have a cup of coffee, and let's start the process, the questions, and see what your scenario looks like, what your dreams about retirement are, and let's help you make them reality.
Again, 302-330-2166. Always no cost, no obligation for that initial consultation with George, Angie, and the team at the Patria Wealth Group. Okay, since we're talking about relationships, would you rather wash your dishes right away, or do you let them pile up and you do them later?
Oh, my God. If I put a glass in the sink, because I'm going to have more water later on, I think Leslie's going to have an aneurysm. So we get our dishes done right away. While we're cooking dinner, we're cooking, we're washing dishes and pots and everything. I cannot stand to see that sit there and just pile up. Mm-hmm. A, it's easier to clean it and get it done right and load the dishwasher. B, the longer it waits, why should I work hard? Just like your retirement's there to work for you, not for you to work for your retirement. You've worked already. Mm-hmm. Get it done, get it out of the way.
What about you, Angie? What do? Do you finish dinner, immediately put them in the dishwasher? You're like, nah, I'll get to it tomorrow.
Oh, no. I have an A personality. Everything gets done immediately. George is laughing. I handle that with everything. So I'm very, that's why it's so important to get everything in line and prepare yourselves.
It's great that you say that, because there was a YouGov poll that said 47% of Americans will actually wash stuff immediately. But when it comes to, as George was just saying, putting that retirement plan together, why do you think that some people wait and kind of let that mess of a portfolio pile up before making the phone call? Fear.
Absolutely.
Fear.
The ostrich mentality.
Yes.
You put your head in the sand and it can't go. Because you know what the problem is? They keep looking at the rearview mirror and they keep thinking, I should have done this. Why didn't I do that? Why did I buy this? Remember, where you were is not where you are. It's behind us, right? Let's forget about it. If we have mistakes, put it to rest. Let's look out ahead and let's get in the right place. So stop delaying and move forward.
Right.
302-330-2166. Listen, it costs you nothing to sit down with George, with Angie, with the team. Let's see where you are in your retirement plans. There may be some adjustments that need to be made, or you never know. George may say, you're doing great. Things look good. Let's check back in 6 months from right now. But you won't know unless you make the call. 302-330-2166. And Angie, I know a lot of the conversations you've been having with your clients lately is surrounding Social Security. And we're just a few months away from learning what the cost of living adjustment, or COLA, what it will be for 2024. Now, inflation pushed this year's increase to 8.7%, but the falling inflation numbers in 2023 mean next year's COLA could only be in the 3% range. So how does this change the way you serve your clients in the future?
Well, this past year, the COLA increase was huge. Mm-hmm. The average, I believe, over the last 45 years is about 2.8. So coming in at the 3% mark is not bad overall. But if you look at inflation last month was 3%, and inflation this month is 3%. What is that 3% that they're going to get next year if they, for the COLA increase? How's it going to assist them and help them? Not much. It's going to be flat.
You always think about when we do your retirement plan and we go through that and get you your X-ray report about what your financial future looks like, Mark and Angie, obviously we are looking at worst case scenario. We are cutting back. So we had an 8.7 last year. Let's say it's 3% this year. We're not planning on 3% as a rule. We're looking at 2%, 2.5%, because I want you to be happily surprised. There's a lot of things out there that you're planning for, right? We think that the glass is half full. When you work with myself and the team here at Patria, we're taking in the worst case scenario. We're talking about Social Security being cut in 2032, how we're going to manage that. We're looking at those bad cases because I want you to have the income stream today that you need, but also plan for tomorrow. We go over your expenses, and we talk about a really nasty topic is taxes. We always pay. Who out there doesn't think they pay enough to the government? Raise your hand. And I guarantee you not one hand is off a steering wheel right now.
Yep.
And that's what we help you with. But it all starts with that first phone call. It all starts with going in and stopping into our office, Give us a call at 302-330-2166, and let's schedule your appointment to help you get lined up to make sure we know where we're going.
You know, Angie, do you find that a lot of the families that you serve, are they concerned about Social Security? And you hear all these stories about it, you know, in the next 15, 20 years. Is that a real concern of some of your clients, or are people just now becoming aware of it?
Well, they're just becoming aware of it, but it is a concern because some people, basically, a large amount of their money is depending on Social Security. So with the COLA, with the decrease in 2032, that they believe that we're going to run out of money, that is going to affect people drastically. It could affect you by, they're saying 20 to 24%. So we show that in our report, you know, how that's going to change. So if you're making $2,000 a month, just an example, that would change your number by $400 a month. How does that affect your living after 2033? Drastically. So, but we prepare the customer for that, and we show that in our analysis reports that we help create with our customers so that they know where they're going to be in the future. And we take all that into consideration.
302-330-2166, PetraiaWealth.com, P-A-T-R-I-A, PetraiaWealth.com. Angie, I know you work a lot with your clients about Medicare. And we were talking off the air before the show got started that there are some things to do before the age of 65 and some things you should be doing around the age of 65. So walk us through some of these steps for those adults that are starting to get a little more serious about Medicare.
When you turn 65, if you are employed, still working in the workforce, you do not have to sign up for Part B. You should register for Part A. If you do not do anything, then they will automatically register you for Part A and Part B. So that's where we come into play and sit down with the client to see where they're at. We look at what type of insurance they have, where they're, how they're employed. And if you're self-employed, it might be to your benefit. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. If you work for a company and you get insurance through your company, you do not need to sign up and pay for Part B while you're still employed. But you should sign up for Part A. So there's so many different rules that apply. That's where we come in and we guide you and show you what to do and help you.
You don't want to make a mistake, Mark.
That's the thing. You don't want to make a mistake, nor do you want to pay for something that you don't need to pay for while you're still working. Of course, Part B right now is $164.90. So if you're still working, which most people are working beyond the age of 65, you don't have to sign up for that if you're employed and have credible insurance. I
always ask people, when was the last time you turned 65 and did this? One time, right? It's right. A one-shot deal to get it right the first time. Angie and I and Achilles, we deal with this every day. You don't want to go to the doctor for that surgery, right, on your shoulder and let you be the guinea pig, do you?
Nope.
Well, let's not do that here. Because remember, the money you're spending is your money, it's your choices, and more importantly, it's your decisions. Give us a call at 302-330-2166, and let's look at the options available. Because, Angie, aren't there a lot of different options with Medicare?
Oh, so many different options, yes.
You have Medicare Advantage,
we
you
have
have
the
supplemental
plans. There's so many different options for you. And that's what we're here to guide you and assist you into making the right decisions.
And it can be overwhelming at times.
It is very overwhelming for people. Mm-hmm. So
and that's why you come talk to Angie.
That's right. That's why you come to us.
Because it's not. That's what she does all the time.
So if Medicare is in your future and you just have questions, because again, there are a lot of layers to it, let's sit down with Angie Politarhos. You can sit down with George. They can answer your questions. There are no dumb questions. This is your money. This is your retirement plan. How can we get you there comfortably? 302-330-2166. And again, it's a complimentary portfolio x-ray, which is a no cost, no obligation conversation. 302-330-2166, PetraiaWealth.com. Angie, you just celebrated your 28th birthday?
Yeah.
Something about that?
I wish.
Something about right. I do want you to hear this clip from, this is Mildred Kirschenbaum. Now, she recently celebrated her 100th birthday, and she took some time to rant about how we're all just so negative right now. And you go, well, yeah, a lot of the kids are. But as she says here, it's not just the kids, even the grown adults, they're negative too.
I have friends who are 20 years younger, 15 years younger, and their attitudes are going to cause them not to survive to my age. And not grateful for anything. Their attitude is, I don't see my kids more than once a week, or the food I was served was not good. Their attitude is not acceptable. If the food isn't quite right, so have an extra dessert. If you hear from your children once a week, that's fine. They call you once a week, you call them once a week. Change your attitude. Look at the positive side of life.
That is a glass half full if I've ever heard it.
Totally.
She lived to be 100, so something's working for her, isn't that right?
That's it.
So with the families that you serve and in the community, how many times have you had a client walk in for their first meeting and they're a little negative? They're fearing the worst. But how do you help them walk out with this attitude like Mildred's, a little more positive?
You know what, Mark? They come walking in and they've been dragged by their spouse.
Right.
Or they're at that age now, they say, I have to retire. And it appears sometimes that they think they're walking in to see their school teacher or the principal. You got sent to the principal's office. I know you had that happen often, being the way you are. And what happens? You're going to get scolded. You're going to get reprimanded. But when they leave here, and Angie, if I'm wrong, let me know, we enlighten them. We educate them, because that's part of our job, is to educate our customers, our family members. And we educate them about where they are, what they're doing, and where they're going to go. A lot of times it's in your head what you have. Oh, I have so much saved, this. It's different when you see it on paper.
Black
because
and
it comes
white.
real, right?
Yes, it comes real.
And I think that's the best. When someone gives you a hug when they're leaving, and the tears of happiness, not tears of fear, but of happiness. Like, oh my gosh, we're going to be okay.
Yes.
It's priceless to us. It really is.
When we tell them, numbers don't lie. These are your numbers. These are our recommendations. If we make a few changes this way or make some adjustments that way, this will change the path that you're on. So it's beautiful because they leave with a whole different attitude.
Okay, Angie, let me ask you this, and I've asked George the same questions multiple times here. When I scheduled that initial consultation, that portfolio x-ray, but I'm sitting down with you, Angie Politarhos, walk me through that first meeting. What does it look like? What can I expect?
Our first meeting is really just a conversation. You get to know us and we get to know you. It's about gathering information, you feeling comfortable, sensing and finding out, what you have and what you're looking for, the path that you want to head into, what you're looking to do in retirement, and what your goals and dreams are. That's the key. We want to find out, what do you want to do when you hit those golden years? Do you want to travel? Do you want to stay at home? Do you want a summer house? Whatever it is that you want, that's our goal, is to find out what you want to do. And then gathering the information, how we can make those accommodations for you.
Investment advisory services are offered only through properly registered representatives of Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, which is not affiliated with Betrayal Wealth Group. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if George Politarhos is licensed in your state, please contact his office. George A. Politarhos is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities, offered through George A. Politarhos, NPN number 175000473.